Call of Duty. Why do you guys constantly drip feed us content instead of giving us a good, healthy stream of high quality content? I feel like Rick from The Walking Dead in episode 1 when he wakes up in the hospital and he's just absolutely starving. That's me. I am starving for good content in the game. It seems like Call of Duty leaves these trail of crumbs for players, and the crumbs being content. They leave this trail of crumbs and the players keep following them, but they space out the crumbs so far that just as players start to get bored because there's nothing new, it's, oh, here's a tiny little crumb of something for you to do. And it seems like that's what Call of Duty does through the new season format in the game. And the seasons were cool at the very beginning, but I've never really liked the seasons. Now, let's look at Iron Trials, because that's the newest thing within Warzone. It's back on Rebirth Island. I think the original Iron Trials was on Verdansk. It's like a duos game mode where everyone has more health. You don't get free loadout drops. You have to buy your loadouts. And the game's a lot harder overall, and it adds a layer of challenge to Warzone. But this time in Iron Trials, not only is it a game mode that a lot of people enjoy, we are actually getting a really cool reward as well. We get a brand new calling card for winning the Iron Trials, and it is by far the best calling card that we've seen in Warzone. And it gets me thinking, why don't we see more content like this put into the game? And even though it's just a calling card, it's a grind incentive to play the game. If we got incentives like this more often, the game would be a lot more fun to play. Similar to the Iron Trials calling card, I think to the 2v2 face-off tournaments that were in Modern Warfare and Cold War, and how those introduced new blueprints that you could only exclusively win by winning the entire tournament. It was really cool to have those variants where not everyone was going to have them. But the thing is those tournament rewards were only added once every season or so there wasn't a steady content of rewards to begin with. And I'm no game dev, so I'm kind of talking out of my ass when I say this, but I honestly don't think it would take that long to develop calling cards for winning Iron Trials. Or, you know, in Fortnite, how if you get a victory royale in every season, you get a brand new umbrella. Why don't they do something like that in Warzone, where if you get 5 Warzone victories in a season, you get a really cool animated calling card? It could be the exact same animation with the Warzone victory symbol that we see with the Rebirth Iron Trials calling card, but you have a different background or a different theme for every season. Like, for example, Season 1, you have a basic Caldera calling card because it's when Caldera was introduced. For Season 2, you have a Nova 6, or whatever the Nova rounds are, you have a Nova-themed calling card for Season 2. Let's say, hypothetically, at peak, the volcano starts to erupt. You have a volcano or magma themed calling card for Season 3, and so on and so on. I think everyone kind of understands how that would work. And I don't think that would take long to develop. I think you could pay an animator like 3 hours and they could make a brand new calling card. Hell, I could go into Adobe After Effects and create a calling card that would look similar to the Iron Trials calling card in 3 hours. And then that could be a season reward for getting X amount of wins in Warzone. And you could have different tiers of the calling card. You could have like a super basic level calling card for winning 1 Warzone match a season. If you win 10 times in a season, the calling card of the Warzone victory text, instead of being blue, becomes gold. Maybe if you get like 25 Warzone victories for that season, it's the same calling card but red. It would be kind of similar to how Rocket League does their seasonal challenges, and Rocket League seasons are way longer than Call of Duty seasons, but there's actually more content to grind in Rocket League than there is in a Call of Duty season, which just goes to show how little content we actually get per season. We get like a new map, a couple of new guns, and the map itself might not even be a brand new map. It might just be a remastered map, which isn't a bad thing at the end of the day, but we just don't get a lot of content. But going back to the Rocket League comparison, Rocket League, you get tons of rewards for season challenges, regardless of if you buy the Rocket Pass or not. And the Rocket Pass is the exact equivalent of the Battle Pass for Call of Duty. But it's just, we get these good content drops, but they're spaced out so far, and the content that we get is definitely not worth the wait in the long run. Like, we get some cool seasonal challenges here and there. The calling cards in Cold War and Vanguard for completing season challenges aren't that cool. But if we look at a game like Modern Warfare with the ribbon challenges, those emblems were a good grind incentive for those seasons. We need something similar to that. I think the calling card challenges in Vanguard and Cold War just don't fit the bill. They're a little lackluster and very generic calling cards. You can get better calling cards than the seasonal challenges in the COD Point shop, which of course they're going to have better stuff that you spend actual money on rather than just spend your time on. But there's just something missing in COD. And I think Treyarch is the best at this, but Treyarch adds a decent amount of calling card challenges and just game challenges into the game, where even if you get Master Prestige, level 1000, get DM Ultra, get Dark Aether, there was Dark Ops challenges to work towards. There was like 300 to 400 base game calling cards to unlock. But then you look at Vanguard and other Sledgehammer games, and Sledgehammer has been pretty bad at this because it's the same in World War II. There's not a lot of calling card challenges to work towards and not a lot of grind incentive in the game, especially once you complete the Mastery Camo. Like in Vanguard and World War II, the second I finished the Chrome and Atomic camos, there's basically no incentive to play. There's no calling card for getting V2 rockets. There's no calling cards for these extreme challenges. There's no hidden Dark Ops challenges. There's just the base challenges that you complete 80% of in the first place when you do the Atomic Camo grind. The only calling card challenges I have left in multiplayer is the game mode specific challenges, where you have to plant the bomb like 25 times in Search and Destroy. There's these super basic challenges and you just have to play different game modes, which I haven't done yet. And it's the same in Zombies as well. And there's nothing grind-wise. And with the whole drip feeding content to us players, there's no game incentive. Like, there's no big incentives to play the game once you complete the Mastery Camo. Like, that's pretty much all there is to do in Call of Duty these days, and it sucks. Like, just give us steady content similar to Iron Trials. Give us reward incentives like the calling card challenge I was talking about and the calling card challenge for Iron Trials. Bring Iron Trials in every single season. Bring Warzone challenges in every single season. Increase the distribution rate of the content that you give players every season. Because honestly, I love COD. I think you guys know that watch my videos of how much I enjoy the franchise and enjoy playing the game. But it's so hard to sit down and play. But at the end of the day, other than the enjoyment factor for me, there's not a lot of incentive right now to play Call of Duty, especially for Vanguard. Cold War did a lot better than Vanguard did, and Modern Warfare is kind of somewhere in between. And think about it this way. Black Ops 2 on launch had more content and more stuff to do than Cold War did in its entire life cycle. And I guarantee that's going to be the same way for Vanguard. Like, Vanguard throughout its entire life cycle, games like Modern Warfare 3 would have more content on launch and more stuff to do than what Vanguard will have in its entire life cycle. So I think the standard needs to be raised so players get more content at launch. And it almost seems like devs are getting a little bit lazy, or they're being restricted to what content they can actually create. From an outsider's perspective and from a consumer/player's perspective, it seems like Call of Duty takes all the content for the game and then says, hey, we have this finished product. And then what they do with this finished, they cut it up into little sections. And then all of a sudden, hey, you have season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 content that were removed from the base game and then just spread out throughout the entire game's life cycle. That's how I interpret it, and that's how I see it anyway. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm just tired of being drip-fed content. I think the stream could be so much steadier and so much more healthy. And at the end of the day, more content and more incentive to play the game would make it a lot more enjoyable for not only me, but for the players that are less than impressed, I'll say, with the state that Call of Duty's in. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm about to head out, and if there's one, I'll see you guys in the next one.